Welcome everyone! In this video, we are in the Fantasy Cup showcasing another very powerful team featuring Haxorus. Haxorus, I have not used it very much since its community day, so I thought what better time than for the Fantasy Cup. And also on this team, along with Haxorus in the back, Flygon. I really enjoy using Flygon, and I don't often get to use it, so when we get a meta where Flygon has some play, I'm going to be using it. It's going to be the safe swap, and rounding out the team, Tapu Fini, a staple of the Fantasy Cup, on the lead to handle most other fairies in the Fantasy Cup. Running two of the hardest hitting dragons in the Fantasy Cup makes for a lot of fun. And here we go, Tapu Fini mirror matchup. This is why we've got Tapu Fini here to handle opposing fairies on in the Fantasy Cup. And it looks like they are more attack weighted than we are, as they do win the CMP tie. We're not shielding this. The shielding priority goes to Haxorus, of course, as with just about every team it is on. Going for a Moonblast of our own, and they let ours go as well, so we are just going to play out the zeros. We're going to lose lead because they win CMP tie, but that is okay. They're going to take us out here, and what we can do is look to come in with our Flygon, which is the safe swap, and get ahead on energy here. It'd be interesting to see what they have in the back. They're thinking they've got a Haxorus of their own, shiny Haxorus, and we do outpace Hax, so that is one thing we do have going for us. Grabbing an early shield, as expected with a Haxorus, and we are going to return the shield in kind. We need to get some damage or shields off of this squishy Haxorus here, staring at us from across the field. Going for Dragon Claw number 2. They let that go as we have been debuffed, so they do tank it quite comfortably. And now we will cut the losses, let this go, and put the hope and faith into our own Haxorus to perhaps bring this home for us. And they've got a Flygon of their own. It's a mirror team. Holy smokes. That was very fun to see. So we're going to shield this up, and we've got to play this very carefully if we hope to win this one. Going for our breaking swipe, likely grabbing the shield. We do. And now, because we got that debuff off, we do comfortably tank a Dragon Claw from this opposing Flygon here. And now what we need to do is get the perfect overfarm to take out this opposing Flygon here, as well as have enough residual energy. But first, we're saying bye-bye to the Flygon. We needed that residual energy to outpace this opposing Haxorus. And we got the perfect farm off of that Flygon, saying bye-bye to the opposing Hax as well. Holy smokes. A mirror team, that was really fun, but ours reigned supreme in the end. Good game, well played. Oh, this team was a lot of fun. You basically saved those shields for Haxorus to sweep the game. And here we go, Giratina lead. Not too bad. In the Fantasy Cup, I've never seen Giratina trainers so eager to shield, but it's understandable as Giratina is generally their only Tapu Fini answer. So we bait, taking advantage of that knowledge, recognizing common play patterns, and grabbing an early shield from Giratina. Would you believe that? And the reason why is because they often have an Escavalier in the back. And Giratina is their Tapu Fini answer. So we're going to let all this go and look to maybe grab an early 2-shield advantage here in this lead matchup. We baited successfully. Now we go for the Moonblast and grab the second shield. Now we're out of there, not sticking around to get farmed down by Giratina. And we are now in on our Flygon. They're staying in a little bit to pressure some health or shield. We do not shield, as we do comfortably tank that. And they've got a Tapu Fini of their own. So now we are just going to load up on energy and go for our first Earth Power here. They have no shields. Doing big damage to the Fini, half of its health, and because of the overfarm and energy lead, we will make it to Earth Power number 2. We're not a Shadow, so this does not KO. They hang on with a slither of HP, which is very unfortunate. So we will let this go, and as I mentioned, the strategy with this team is, if you can, you save both shields for Haxorus to absolutely lay waste to the remainder of their team. That is how the dynamics are designed. This Giratina is still very healthy because they spent both of their shields on it. And we will now start throwing up shields of our own here, shielding out the super effective Dragon Claw. Now we're going to fire back with a Breaking Swipe of our own. This will not KO, but it gets them into the low red, and they've got an Escavalier in the back. We will do just fine here. And we are running Surf on Haxorus. Hits most things for neutral damage. It's pretty bad if you get trapped on a Tapu Fini, but otherwise, I just think Earthquake is far too predictable and far too expensive for a fast move like counter. But that is all beside the point because we outpace this Escav, we shield, we farm down, and it is lights out for them. As we were going to make it to a Breaking Swipe to finish off that Giratina they top left. Good game, well played to our opponent. Haxorus taking over that last endgame to close strong. You love to see it. You also love to see an Escavalier when you run Tapu Fini. This is very this is okay for Tapu Fini. We do play to a CMP tie that we do not win because I don't want this Escavalier chipping and dipping, getting out of this matchup unscathed. So we're gonna either pressure health or shields. We pressure the health, we'll take it. And now what we're going to look to do is try and catch, but they had the same idea in mind, but we draw out a Fini. That's what Gliscor. That's what Flygon is on this team to do. Draw out Tapu Fini because it is a nightmare for our Haxorus with our moveset. In general, it's a nightmare, but with that moveset, it's even worse. They're going to hit us with a neutral Surf, and we are actually going to bait with a double resisted Dragon Claw, reading that they will want to shield once and farm down, and we do successfully bait, forcing them to have to throw energy because we were going to make it to an Earth Power by successfully baiting. So that is how we got ahead in this mid-game matchup. Now we can bring our own Tapu Fini in to meet theirs. And I don't believe Surf will get the clean KO. So we're going for the overkill Moonblast, saying bye-bye to their Tapu Fini. And they're going to insta-throw onto ours with their Escavalier, and that is absolutely fine. We have the shield advantage for Haxorus, and they've got a Grand Bull running Snarl in the back. Very cool to see. Obviously, if this thing was running Charm, it would have been lights out for us, but gonna go for this neutral Surf, and that's the beauty of running Surf, is if they have a Fairy, they're expecting you to run Earthquake in this meta, so they generally let the Surf go, but we've got two shields. This Grand Bull can do nothing to us, and we don't even really have to throw this, but we are... for whatever reason, they shield, they want to go down with a fight. That is a-okay. Going to expend the final shield here. That Escavalier is energy dry. We got through a counter, so this Grand Bull will go down, and the Escav goes down to counters as well. Haxorus coming in clutch yet again, doing what it does best, and that is close the game strong. Good game, well played to them. I have not used Haxorus very much at all since it's Calm Day, so I jumped at the opportunity when the Fantasy Cup came around. And here we go, Tapu Fini mirror matchup, very common to see here in the Fantasy Cup. The question is, who wins CMP tie? They don't want to stick around to find out, as they make a brilliant catch onto a Galarian Weezing here. Very nice catch, but we get the attack drop, so we're taking note of that. That could come in clutch if they happen to be running Play Rough, and it looks like they may be, as they did build up to it. We're letting that go. We got that attack drop from the clutch Moonblast from our Tapu Fini, going for an Earth Power. And if they let this go, we're saying bye-bye to the Weezing. They're going to cut the losses and look to come in with their own Fini and throw immediately. So, they're going to throw the Surf. We're going to let that go. They are still slightly ahead on energy because they made a very nice catch. So, going to have to shield this here. This could definitely be the Moonblast. And this Tapu Fini is way too healthy for our Haxorus to handle. So, we do successfully shield up the Moonblast. And now we're going to look to bait just to compensate and try and get that shield back. Most Fini trainers will not shield, or will shield to try and take out yours, but they do not. And this is just a Surf, which will not KO. So we're going to let this go and pivot into Haxorus. And they got a Giratina in the back. So that is what they were saving those shields for. Gonna look to lower that attack with a super effective Breaking Swipe, grabbing their first shield here. And Giratina trainers love to bait. We are not falling for any baits here. That's a very, very obvious bait, as most Haxorus trainers have to use their shields. We're not falling for that. Going for another breaking swipe here, grabbing the final shield. And we're going to have to shield something here now. They did get the boost, but we did negate some of that, the attack side, with a breaking swipe. And now we have to go for this breaking swipe here. Not quite going to KO. And I do believe that they will be able to farm us down, even with the attack drop. So now, oh, they pivoted into the Tapu Fini. Oh my goodness, that was a mistake. They might have lost track of our energy. They gave us the farm we needed to get to the Moonblast. Oh no. Oh man, we're saying bye-bye to their Giratina, and it happens. It's hard to keep track of energy when you're doing constant aggressive swapping, but good game, well played to them nonetheless. Yeah, that last opponent was likely anticipating a blind throw, but hey, it happens. And here we go, another Tapu Fini mirror matchup on the lead. This is exactly where you want to see it. It always comes down to CMP tie, of course, in the mirror matchup. Gonna go for our Moonblast. They were likely expecting a catch, which is why they went for the extra there. That is okay. We do grab an early shield from them. And I don't like shielding Tapu Fini on the lead here in the mirror matchup, because we do survive a Moonblast quite comfortably, and we just take the shield advantage and pivot into our Flygon. Gonna shield this, and it is the Surf, but that is okay. We just want to make sure that we can take out this opposing Tapu Fini. The fact that they're staying in here is very interesting, but it makes sense as well, because they see Dragon, they think I should stay in. I'm a fairy, and I can do super effective damage or neutral damage. Gonna let this go. That does not KO us, and they've got an Escavalier in the back, and because of our overfarm, we get to an Earth Power. Hits for neutral damage, but it hits for massive neutral damage, doing well over 50% of the Escav's health. And now what we're gonna do is come in with our Haxorus and catch a drill run onto our Tapu Fini that we preserved, making the plays. Oh, you love to see it in the Fantasy Cup. And now we will just counter down. Gonna be interesting to see what else they have in the back here. They've got a Giratina, and we've got loaded energy. Gonna look to fire off a breaking swipe here. We do have to make note that Tapu Fini is still remaining in the back. They let our first breaking swipe go through, as they do tank it quite comfortably. They cannot tank a second one, and they do shield there. And now, because we are getting so low, we're going to have to shield a potential ominous wind bait, and saw that coming a mile away. We got to be careful of the catch. We hang on. Saw that coming from a mile away, and because of their failed catch, we've got the breaking swipe, and we are saying bye-bye to that Giratina, courtesy of our Haxorus. Oh, picking up on a common play pattern, won us the game there. Good game, well played to them. This team was a lot of fun in the Fantasy Cup, and here we go. It's even better when you get a nice Haxorus lead on your Tapu Fini. They make a play into a Charm A9, and that is brilliant. We'll take that. We're staying right here, as you would imagine. And a lot of Tapu Fini trainers would bait here, but guys, we're not baiting, and we're doing big damage. They were likely thinking we were going to bait. Not going to happen. And we will shield this because we want to remain healthy enough to threaten that Haxorus that they have on their team. And just in case it's a double charm line. But it doesn't appear to be a double charm line. They come back in with the Dragon Haxorus onto Tapu Fini. Gonna try and fake a Moonblast, but they're not falling for it. But the chip damage is still very nice, because even resisted damage often proves to be meaningful damage up against Haxorus. They're going to look to deny us the energy, and now we will let this go. We got the Haxorus quite low, and we got rid of a Charmer. What more could you ask for? But this Haxorus is loaded, but we do survive a breaking swipe. Even from a Haxorus, it does quite a bit of damage. And now we tried to overfarm to prevent a catch, but they somehow catch anyways. That is just pure luck. They had no idea when we would throw. And now we've got our own Haxorus in on this Shadow Scizor here. Gotta go for the resisted breaking swipe to take a little bit of the sting off of that fast move pressure. And we do grab their first shield because we got the breaking swipe off. Applied that debuff, gonna let this go. And they get an attack! Holy smokes, they get the boost. Oh, that was the worst time for that thing to get a boost. That was awful because if they had not, we would have been able to perhaps farm down and leave with loaded energy. But because they boosted, we lose! Holy smokes, that is very frustrating. Oh, but good game, well played to them nonetheless. Oh, losing that one on a boost. That one was really annoying, but we press on. Here we go. Togekiss lead. You don't often run into these in the Fantasy Cup, but here we are. But we're going to look to either take out this Togekiss, obviously, or at least get shields down and get the Togekiss low. We're just going to go straight surf in this matchup, and we grab an early shield. As most trainers love to two-shield their Charmer, but it is okay because they are still taking quite a bit of fast move, or damage from our fast move pressure, I should say. And we are going to fire off Surf number 2. We have to shield the Ancient Power to remain healthy enough to really put the pressure on this Togekiss, which is still very healthy. We just can't quite get to that Surf. So we're going to throw our Flygon in here and just absorb all of this damage. Really hoping that this double resisted Dragon Claw is enough, but I suspected it would not be, and it is not. But this is only a resisted Ancient Power. We do resist that with our ground typing, and we're going to farm down with double resisted Mud Shots, which is absolutely insane to think about, and we are still healthy enough to pressure this Escavalier with no shields. We're going to be doing big damage with the Earth Power, and now it's all up to Haxorus. Up a shield to perhaps bring this home for us. Gotta shield this. This thing hits like a truck. Had to clear the annoying alarm timer there. And they've got a Metagross in the back. Holy smokes. What a very spicy team here. Going for the Surf. Earthquake would be very nice here, but as you can see, Surf does tons of damage, and we timed it perfectly. Playing to a CMP tie that we absolutely win. We're saying bye-bye to the Metagross, and the Escav is energy dry. We farm down, closing it out strong yet again with our Haxorus. You'd love to see it. Good game, well played. Oh, this team was really putting in the work in the Fantasy Cup. It was a lot of fun as well. And here we go, another Giratina lead coming in its altered form. And like I said, I've never seen Giratina trainers so eager to shield. It is quite fascinating to see, but again, they kind of have to, and we know that because they're often weak to Tapu Fini in the back. And with that knowledge, we're going to go for a very safe bait here in the Fantasy Cup, grabbing an early shield from Giratina. Quite astounding to see. And nothing KOs here. This is likely just another Ancient Power or Shadow Sneak, excuse me. And we will look to either take them out, but they're not sticking around to find out. We're just going to go for the Surf here. They tried to catch a Moonblast onto a Steel type, coming in the form of Shadow A-Slash. And I wasn't sure if we would need that chip damage, so we throw it just to be safe. But in hindsight, I think we could have just fully farmed down Shield ones and fully farmed down before they would make it to 2 Ice Punches. But better to be safe than sorry, and we'd leave that matchup with loaded energy. Gonna pressure this Giratina with a breaking swipe. They let that go. And now, because we applied that debuff, we can let their Dragon Claw go. And actually just let everything go. We're going to make it to another breaking swipe, and it's going to be interesting to see if they look to shield this Giratina here. They do shield, but they're now 2 times debuffed, and they cannot farm down without getting hit with another move, so they do decide to throw the Dragon Claw here, and that is okay. We can come in with Flygon up a shield and hopefully do something really good here. We tried to catch a resisted Dragon Claw onto Fini. We don't succeed in doing so, but we draw out an Escav with no shields. Oh my goodness, and we do make it to that Surf, nearly KOing the Escav. Or Excadrill, I should say. I often confuse those two names. They go for resisted Rock Slide, maybe a BM, realizing it was over. But it does not matter because we farm that thing down. We get to this Dragon Claw and say bye-bye to the Giratina, courtesy of Flygon this time. Flygon can also close the game strong, as we saw there. And that is the team, my friends. Oh, I had a lot of fun with it. Like I said, I don't often get to run Flygon. I actually really enjoy Flygon quite a bit, but the Open Ultra League is such a shark tank that it's often difficult to run something like Flygon in that meta. So Fantasy Cup came around. Again, the same goes for Haxorus. I don't often get to use that. So I said, I really enjoy using these two dragons. They're eligible. I'm using them in the Fantasy Cup before it's done. And I had a lot of fun and a lot of success with it as well. But guys, I had a blast. I hope you all enjoyed. As always, I thank you for watching and keep up the grind. Thank you guys.